Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mobile Rolling. Thanks to Garage Horse and Hound. And as you know, I'm just back from holidays, and it's something that caught my eye when I was watching the replays of Globe Derby harness racing. And Tim Edwards, calling a race at Globe Derby, was talking about Come On Frank. And in his call, he made a very good point, a marvel for South Australian harness racing. And he has been a cult figure of harness racing in South Australia. And to tell us about where he's at and what he's all about is his trainer, driver, Darren Billinger, who joins us on the show. Darren, how are you? Good morning.
Very well, thanks, Jimmy. Good morning to you.
Yeah, look, he has been a cult following, hasn't he? Come on, Frank. He's done amazing things for the industry in South Australia and harness racing in general. I noticed he's had one run back from the spell where he had a pretty tough run, and he dropped out appreciably in the Italian Cup after having that tough run. How's he pulled up from that run, and where is he at the moment?
Yeah, he had an enormously hard run first up, but sometimes he can hack that and sometimes he doesn't. 2 years before that we did the same thing, and the year before that we did the same thing and he won. So
yeah,
you don't really know with him because he's such a poor track worker. And yeah, so when you go forward and you'll get away with it, it looks good. If you don't, it looks a bit silly, of course. But he's pulled up really well, and yeah, he's probably the soundest he's ever been, and he's looking really well in his coat, and we're very happy with the way he's jogging, and he wants to do it all. His track work's still ordinary, but that's the way he's always been. So we really don't know. It's a bit of a guessing game. He's had a problem with his blood for the last 12 months, and he got some sort of bug, and we haven't been able to get it right for at least 12 months. And he won a couple of races with it, and then we turn him out, we bring him back, and so on. And yeah, it's been a real struggle over the last 12 months, but he does love what he's doing, and yeah, so this time now, I think his blood's probably as good as it's ever been, as good as it's been since the last 12 months, but it's far from perfect, so
yeah,
we really don't know. So we're hoping and expecting him to run well today and probably win. We would like to think. We were going to go to the trials, but this race came up, so we thought it's the same thing. So yeah, he'll tell us, and if he runs a good race, well, we'll go forward. If he doesn't, well then he's always got a home with us.
Yeah. I suppose at that point of the blood over the last 12 months, it shows like we've always known him to be a really consistent horse, but I think it's fair to say over the last 12 months we've seen inconsistencies with his form, and I think there's the explanation straight away.
Yeah, because his blood's been bad, we've only got 2 or 3 runs out of him, and then he's had to go for a spell again, so we're just on a tight rope. It is definitely better at the moment than it has been when he won at Victor Harbour, for instance, and so on, so there's definitely hope there, but we really don't know until we go to the races. So he's been our life for the last 6 years, so yeah, it's a pretty emotional time.
Yeah, look, and he's done a great job as well, and he like I say, Tim Edwards made a very important point last race in the Italian Cup, a marvel for South Australian harness racing, and a marvel for your family as well, for sure. What about, now we know we've got the SA Cup coming up in January. Is that on his radar? Is that his target? I mean, at his best, obviously, he's a worthy competitor, but, I mean, I suppose after today you find out whether you're going to venture that way or not?
Yeah, I've definitely just got to take it one race at a time, and, that would be ideal, and if he got back to his best, well, that's where he'd be, but we're not saying anything because we don't really know until we go to the races. Today's one step. Even if he wins today, that's still a fair way away from where he has to be. So we'll just play it by ear and see where we go. He was actually honoured the other day by the Harness Racing Club. They gave him. He won the Chairman's Award, which was an award for horses for publicity and getting people to the trots over the last 5 or 6 years, which I thought was a wonderful gesture. As we know, he's got over 3,000 Facebook friends, well known all over Australia. So he was well rewarded for that. And I thought that was really good of the board to do that.
Yeah, hats off to Harness Racing SA, and great work indeed. Look, come on, Frank, he's 9 years of age. Who knows? He might stop racing shortly if he doesn't continue to go on. I noticed on Saturday night, Futurist was the winner. Is he the next bloke to step up to the label and try and follow through on the tracks?
Yeah, well, he's generally the next best horse in my stable for sure. He lacks really high speed, but he's strong, and he likes his attitude is terrific. And yeah, I'd like to think that well, he's a C4 now, so it's going to get hard as it goes along. But I'll be aiming him for the big bred 4-year-old series and have a crack because me, I don't like wandering. So yeah, have a crack. I think he's good enough to go over and at least be competitive. So, yeah, that's the aim this year with him.
Okay. I thought a turning point for him, racing to what I looked at his form and when he bounced on the scene and started running sensational times, was a gear change of block blinkers going on. That seemed to be a telling point for him. Was that something that you kept under your belt and saved it for the turning point for him?
Yeah, I would say that was probably when we blocked him up and he started to concentrate a bit more. And because he can run very even long quarter, he can run 2200 in 29 quarters.
Yeah.
Not a problem, but he can't run a 27 quarter, so that's going to see him out in the future. But no, with the block winkers, he got keen, he concentrated, and yeah, he just keeps continuing to improve.
Now, speaking of gear changes, I noticed you've got a couple of gear changes today. Come on, Frank, Rogueshood goes on.
Yeah, well, we're just making sure that he knows we're in mean business today, and block winkers, Rogueshoods, they go off and on all the time with him just to try and keep him on the ball. So let's hope that works. And the other horse in today, I've opened him, gone the opposite of taking the blinkers off and opened him up. And he's sort of very immature, aquaflight, what we're talking about. And hopefully when he can see the other horses, he might go a bit better.
So he's in race 2. You returned with the win at Port Pirie. He was a short price favourite there and only won by a narrow margin. What about his second start from the spell when he finished 4th last start? Yeah,
no, I'm a bit disappointed with it, to be honest with you. He stargazes when he gets in the field. He's absolutely not switched on at all. He's got no idea what he's doing. And big, clumsy sort of horse that, he's got plenty of ability. So hopefully within time, he'll click. Might be a late 3-year-old, might be like Futurist, take a while to click. But at the moment, he sort of just doesn't know what he's doing, but he's got a bit of ability. But there looks a horse in that just come from Melbourne. That looks pretty smart, number 6. So hopefully a place today.
Yeah. Look, when he first started racing, there wasn't much gate speed from him, but you worked on that, and he was a leader and a winner 3 starts ago. He's just a little bit of work in progress and still learning about racing and teaching him what to do.
Yeah, well, he was a bit tubby early and he used to pull a fair bit, so I didn't want to take him off the gate when he first started, because I thought I might have lost him early. So he's matured a bit from that, but he still can get up on the chewy if you push him out the gate. So, but then I don't know what to do today. There's a lot of inexperience inside, so we'll probably have to have a look today.
Yeah. I think the other drivers in the trot, Cookies and Cream for the Hodgson team. What's she been doing? Have you had a chance to drive her in track work? I haven't seen any trials for her, Darren, in race 4.
No, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. All I can tell is what you've done. I've looked at its last couple of runs on the internet. It looks like it trots all the way, but gets a bit tired. But it's up there in a trotting race. As long as it trots, you never know, do you?
Yeah, exactly. So how many you got in work now? I mean, you went away on holidays after the Southern Cross, cleared the head, got back in the work of the horses. How many you got in the team now, Darren?
Yeah, well, we've been back probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 weeks now, so I've lost a couple. I've sacked one and one went sore to Ramsey Star, so we had to go back out again. So it's left me with 4 race horses, a couple of maybes and 3 babies. So, yeah, there's plenty to do here.
Yeah, all right. Well, good luck today with Come On Frank. Let's hope the real Come On Frank steps up there, and then you've got to put your thinking cap on whether you're going to target the SA Cup or just keep him at home and see what happens down the track.
Well, as usual, mate, Julie does all the work with him, so she'll make all the decisions, so I'll just do what I'm told.
Well, exactly. And look, let's point out, if it wasn't for Julie saying, look, we're going to keep this horse and not sack him when you originally said, nah, he can't go quick enough, well, we wouldn't be where we are right now with him, would we?
Yeah, you reckon she hasn't stopped telling me that for the last 6 years, but it's the best mistake I ever made, that's for sure.
Well, if anyone wants to learn about Come On Frank, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know about him, get on the Facebook and you can follow him on Facebook. What do you say? There's over 3,000 people that follow him on Facebook now, Darren?
That's right, yep.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well done and good luck today.
Excellent. Thanks very much, mate.
There's Darren Billinger, the trainer-driver of Come On Frank, and he's really keen to get him back into the racing. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back with Ballarat Race 2. In fact, we'll give you the odds for Ballarat Race 2 as we speak now, as they're making their way to the boxes.